The Bersa M2XI double stack 1911. Let's check it out. Bersa has been in business since 1958, and for 67 years they have been producing really good quality firearms. The original founders were Italians from Beretta that were mechanical engineers that moved to Argentina and began to produce the Ballester Molina, which is a knockoff from the 1911, but they're excellent quality. I have one, they're just exceptional. They're mostly known for their Thunder 380s, which were actually more of a budget price concealed carry option, made very similar to your PPK, and they have produced other firearms. They have moved their facility up to the US in Georgia, and they are producing not only 2011 style handguns or double stack 1911s, but also standard 1911s and AR-15s. They have a lot of experience, and so we're going to take a look at the Bersa M2XI. And guys, for the price, these are really exceptional double stack 1911s. And guys, I want to give a big thank you to Bersa USA for sending the M2XI for this review. There's a lot of 2011s out there, but for the price, this really exceeds its pay grade. All right, guys, we have the Bersa M2XI. This is a double stack 1911. It is in 9mm. It is 416 stainless steel. Stainless steel slide, stainless steel frame or subframe, and then we have the polymer grip shell, which is like your 2011 handguns. And this allows for a double stack 1911. Those have become extremely popular, and a number of different companies have been offering them. There are some imported ones that are fairly reasonable. There are a few in the US that are actually pretty reasonable as well, but the Bersa's coming in, and honestly, for the quality, it's a great price. It comes with an 18-round mag for Metgar, but you can also get a 23-round magazine when they're available free just by using the code that's on this paper, so you can get the magazine for free once they're available. So it's going to give us some different options. And again, being Metgar, they are OEM manufacturers for a lot of different gun companies, and they're just excellent mags. With that being said, we're going to check to make sure the gun's unloaded. I don't have the Metgar mag right with me. I misplaced it, I think, during the range time. So I had one of the Checkmate mags, and this worked extremely well with the handgun. This is a 19+1, but Checkmate makes great mags, and it is compatible with the Checkmate mags. And then also, the gun is empty. Now, Bersa is an Argentine company, but they have a manufacturing facility here in the US in Cartersville, Georgia, and they have been producing 1911s, AR-15s, and the M2XI. But Bersa is really known for their Thunder 380s, and these are made in Argentina. These have been around for a number of years, and they're budget friendly, but they're very similar to your Walther PPK 380 blowback design. Now, this is the Plus model, and it carries 15 rounds of 380, which really was kind of unheard of for your 380 pistols. And then, of course, check the chamber, and the gun is empty. Now, these, again, were very popular for a number of years, especially the single stack version, and it was a great concealed carry option because it was so thin. And since that time, though, Bersa has expanded out, even though they're still making the Thunder 380s. But we did a review on their B1911, and this is an exceptional made 1911. Now, one of the things about the B1911 and the M2XI, is that these are hand lapped and hand fitted, and so there's a lot of extra labor that goes into these to make them very slick and smooth and yet very functional. And I'll tell you, this is in 45 ACP, and it was just an excellent firearm. I'll have the video annotated above, but a very smooth finish, and of course that stainless steel is absolutely beautiful, but they do make a number of different models. This is a double stack 1911, and it's in the 2011 style, which means that it has that polymer grip shell that makes this a double stacked 1911. So all the controls are 1911, and that's become extremely popular. You're taking that tried and true 1911 balance and feel, and then you're giving it an upgrade with its magazine capacity. So, 18+1, 23+1, it just makes it a very effective, more modernized 1911. And then with this polymer, the texturing is laser etched all the way through here, and then it has checkering on the mainspring housing and on the front strap. And it gives you a really good solid purchase on it. They have cut out some finger grooves here and here, and then we have our mag release. And one of the things about it is, you've just got to bring your finger around. There's no real cut straight to the mag release, which a lot of 1911s have. But this gives you a solid grip to it, and it allows you just to bring it up. And it has a nice undercut under the trigger guard, and then along the bottom of the trigger guard. So it's a double cut undercut, and we have this finger groove right here. Gives you that finger groove to be able to grip hold of it and then get right to your trigger. Squared off trigger guard. There is texturing here on the top, and it's just got that smooth finish on the bottom. Of course, it is that polymer, so even the smoother areas have that little bit of texturing to them. Now it has a high ride beaver tail with a memory notch, and some people have complained that they can't quite get that safety disengaged, but we didn't have any problems. It just functioned very well. With the beaver tail, it just allows for you to get your hand up high onto the grip, and it just mitigates some of the recoil into the web of your hand. Of course, we do have a large mag well at the bottom, and it has these cuts, so when you're pulling out your magazines, you've got these little cuts. If you have some kind of malfunction, you can pull these out. And then we have a mag well, and of course this can be removed if you don't like this on the end, but this really allows for very fast reloads. I do like the slide release. It has been extended, and it makes it really fast to be able to just disengage that slide. Also, we have ambidextrous safeties, and they're very smooth. They're very positive detent coming down, and this can also be used as a gas pedal just to place your hand and then get that high ride on it. We do have a commander hammer, nestles into your beaver tail, and it has kind of a unique shape to it, and it has serrations on the top so you can thumb cock it if you need to. Now, one of the things about the slide is it's not just that rounded off slide. We have an angle cut here at the top, and then we have a flat top at the slide. So it gives it a very nice custom look to it. Also, we have these line serrations at the top, and that's going to break down the glare. We have a tritium sight at the front, looks like a night vision front sight. Tritium with the orange circle around it, and then here at the rear we have a black square notch with serrations. And we are optics ready. This does fit the Holosun K series, so any of those are going to fit right direct mount to your slide. I opted not to put a sight on here just to give it an out-of-the-box shooting experience with it, but I'm sure we will put on an optic at some point. The serrations are very unique. They just kind of have a short line or small line, thin, and then they have these wider serrations. Very easy to grab. And I'm going to tell you guys, this thing is slick. Now, these are hand-fitted and hand-lapped. So it's going to have a very nice, tight fit, and yet it's going to be very smooth. And one of the things about a 1911 is that if you get the tolerances too tight, it can affect reliability. If you get them too loose, it's going to affect accuracy, mainly the barrel lockup. But first, we have these lightning cuts at the front that just allow for you to use those as serrations, but it also just lightens up the slide a touch. And you can see the stainless steel bull barrel coming through the slide. And it does have a 5-inch barrel, and again, it is a bull barrel. Now, with the accuracy as well is the fit to the end of the barrel. And first off, you can see it's deep dish crown. So this is going to preserve your accuracy. If you get this dinged right there, it's going to preserve the rifling. And it's a flat finish at the front. Nice Picatinny rail, has 5 slots, and then you have a little bit extension, and it does have a groove that comes through here. Those are small touches that really just add to the quality, and a lot of times you'll find this kind of stuff more on your custom or higher end 1911 or 2011s. Now, speaking of hand lapped and hand fitted, Bersa in the owner's manual recommends that you shoot, that there is a break-in period. Because these are fit to really tight tolerances, you want to make sure that the reliability's up, and those first couple of 100 rounds are going to really smooth this out. But I'm going to tell you guys, when we were at the range, we had no malfunctions. It is so smooth right out of the gate. And I'll tell you, that's one thing that the 2011 series or double stack 1911s have really been going for, is that smooth pull. But guys, I'm going to tell you, this is a very slick pull. Now you can feel it right there, go right over the disconnector. But otherwise, it is an incredibly smooth racking slide. And again, those magazines go up. And of course, unless you have the grip safety engaged, it will not fire. Engage the grip safety, and you can pull the trigger. Now the slide looks almost like there are no markings, but very lightly engraved is M2XI. And so there's no billboard on the side of this. In fact, the markings over here are very well done, and it just has the model, serial number, and of course made in Cartersville, Georgia. This is also considered Bersa USA. Now, as far as slide to frame fit, it is very nice. There is very little perceived movement. You can get just a little bit. Barrel fit is very well done. And then on the rear is really nice. Very little movement. Now, I did notice that the extractor, while it's fit next to the slide, there is a slight raise right there, which is no big deal. Sometimes on really fine custom 1911s, this will be really flush. Now, we want to talk about the trigger. It is a skeletonized trigger. It is aluminum. It is flat face. And typically on your 1911s, these can be, they're some of the best triggers out there. Just because it's single action, all you do is trip the sear. But this is also in the 70 series. Now, 70 series does not have the firing pin block like the 80 series, but that allows for a much better trigger. So we're going to test it out. Now with the trigger action, just a little bit of take up right to here, and then a really nice break. Reset, very fast. All right, we're checking out our trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 1 pound, 11.3 ounces. 1 pound, 10.3 ounces. It's extremely smooth and fairly light. And weight on the Bersa M2XI, 39.73 ounces. It's definitely a heavy gun. You've got all that steel frame, you got the steel slide, steel barrel. Even though we have polymer here, it is a fairly hefty gun. But a lot of competitive shooters like that weight, and really this is more of a target model or something that you would use in competition. Big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammo, all made in the USA, one of the biggest suppliers of ammunition in the country. Now, one thing you'll notice is that I'm having to bring my Lula up, and with 2011 style magazines, it's just a little bit large. You can do it, and it makes it easier to load, but a little bit different. Bersa's well known for their Thunder 380. And it made a lot like your Walther PPK, but yet it was more of a budget-friendly firearm. But I was a big fan of the Bersa Thunder 380s. And so now they are producing firearms right here in the U.S. Now this is the M2XI, and it's a double stack 1911 or in that 2011 style. Super smooth. The grip texturing is really nice, cuts in the slide. I mean, this is really a beautiful firearm, but there's not a lot of markings on it. It's just plain. But there's something about this with that slide to frame fit and how much it glides. It's really a pleasure to shoot. Optics ready. Nice mag well at the bottom that allows those magazines to go in really well. Again, super smooth action. It just glides. It glides on the frame. And obviously this thing is really hand fit. Shroud, dust cover comes all the way out with your Picatinny rail sections. Tritium sight at the front with an orange circle, and then your black outline makes it really easy to pick up. That nice mag well at the bottom, again, super slick. I mean, that slide, you can feel it. And when you have a slide to frame fit that's really tight, but yet it glides on the frame to slide, makes it really just smooth shooting. It really gives us more options, and that's really the big deal when it comes to these. Yes, there are a lot of these 2011 style handguns out there, but Bersa's coming in at a good price, and honestly, the quality is just top notch. An excellent option if you're looking for a 2011. And guys, there's a number out there, but there's a good reason why these are so popular. I mean, it's very smooth, and then that sight, it just tracks right on target. So check out the Bersa M2XI, a really good competitor that's entering into the 2011 DS 1911 market. Now for disassembly, we're going to drop our magazine, check the chamber, make sure the gun's unloaded, point in a safe direction, and pull the trigger. Now with the Bersa, it has a full-length guide rod. There's a number of different ways, according to the guide rod, how you can disassemble. But we're going to take a 5/32 wrench, put it in the end of your guide rod, and you just want to turn it a half to one full turn counterclockwise. And once you get it to that, we're going to go ahead and bring back our slide. Now you want to bring your slide back to this first notch to your slide stop. And once you get this kind of lined up, and you can look through and see the other side, we're going to push the slide stop out from the other side right here. Now it may be the frame on the 2011s are typically a little bit thicker. So we're going to take a punch and just push that out. Makes it a lot easier. Now, as you're bringing your slide out, keep your thumb right there at your recoil spring because you don't want it to pop out, especially when the barrel link is popped down. Now you go ahead and unscrew the rest of your guide rod. And it is a two-piece guide rod system, but it's full length. And once we get it to a certain point, we can just unscrew it and we can pull it out. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our recoil spring. Be careful, it is under spring tension. And then we have a plug here in the end. Now make sure your barrel link's in the down position, and then you just pull the barrel straight out of the slide. I mean, that is a beautiful barrel, bull barrel, of course, standard 1911 style. That deep dish crown is just excellent. I love that one. I love when they have those. All right, the slide fit and finish is excellent. And these again have been hand fitted and hand lapped, and that means that the rails have been hand lapped. So here it just has these rails, and the slide is fit to where it just becomes extremely smooth and mates with the slide itself. And so that is one reason why that it will help with accuracy. But you have that standard 2011 grip shell style, and then of course your 1911. And guys, that's all you need to do to field strip for reassembly. We're going to take our barrel, bring our barrel link down, put it in the end of the slide, go ahead and seat it, then bring your barrel link up. Take your plug and put it in right into the dust cover, and then we're going to take our spring with our recoil spring, and we're going to go ahead and put it into place. Now, one thing I like to do is to take my rod and make sure it's the end that you unscrew, and then we just go ahead and push it through. And what this will do is give you a little bit more balance to be able to get this lined up. And once this is in place, we can just line up and go ahead and start to tighten up those threads. And we can do it with our hand at first, and then you can switch to the wrench. We don't want to go all the way. Make sure your barrel length is down because that is where your slide stop goes through. Put this over your frame. Now right here, I can start to see the barrel length, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my slide stop. That'll have it into place. And then I'm going to line up my notch right here, bring this up and over. One thing I've noticed is that if I lift up, it makes it a little easier. Just like that. There it goes. Test for function, and we're back in business. Now, keeping your firearms maintained and cleaned is vital. Otis makes some of the best cleaning equipment out there. They make a number of different kits that are dedicated for different rifles, pistols. They also have Shooter's Choice, which makes excellent CLP and bore solvent and different cleaning materials. The Ripcord is one of their signatures, and there's a whole system based around it. They are suppliers to the U.S. military. So check out Otis Technologies, highly recommended, and we want to thank Otis for being a sponsor of the channel. Guys, you have a cardboard box, and inside we have a really nice gun case. This is from Mission First Tactical, and we have a Velcro sticker of the M2XI. Now here we have two compartments and double pulls. There's a lockable right here. You can take a small padlock if you wanted to. And then we have our owner's manual here, and we have our lock, and we can put additional magazines right here in these loops. On the inside, for the main compartment, we have two different dividers. They are padded. You can put a handgun in the middle, and then, of course, we have our handgun. And this makes an excellent bag and honestly a great addition to the pistol. And I love when they really put in good quality bags, the ones that you can really use. Well, guys, the MSRP is $14.79, which is a great price for the features you're getting. A lot of the 2011 pistols are running more toward average of $2,000, $2,500, and can run up well beyond that in the thousands of dollars. And then on the budget end, there are some that are around the $1,000 range, but typically they're imported and there's corners that are cut. This is an extremely smooth fit handgun with the hand fitting and the hand lapping. It makes this a very smooth action. And then of course with the serrations and the lightning cuts, night sight at the front, your optics ready. And I really like the texturing around the grip shell. There's some different cool features, the undercut, and of course you've got a full-length guide rod, but you also have a full-length Picatinny rail with 5 slots. You also have the mag well. Trigger is just excellent. Now, what are some cons? Cons would be the trigger's really light. And while that's not really a con because it is a single action pistol, we didn't have any problems accidentally shooting it, which sometimes if you get those trigger pulls really low, below 2 pounds, they can be very fast. But we didn't have any issues. One thing too is there is a break-in period according to Bersa. We did not do that. We took it right out of the box. On video were the first shots we shot, and we just didn't have any malfunctions. There has been some complaints about the beaver tail not disengaging unless you get a really full grip on the pistol. We didn't have that problem, but that has been noted with a couple of different guys. The Holosun K-Series sights direct mount. That's a huge plus. Night vision front sight and blacked out serrated rear sight. That's also a great sight combination, but these are dovetailed in so you can switch those out if you want. Stainless steel barrel, bull barrel. Of course, I love the crown and stainless steel on the slide and the subframe. And then of course we have our typical polymer grip shell, which has a lot of great texturing. So overall, and I've heard a lot of different things about these handguns that have been positive. Anything that's been talked about that people didn't like was really nitpicking. And to me, these are some nitpicky things. So overall, just an excellent pistol. And guys, while 2011s are coming in and they're the rage right now, this to me gives you that upper tier feel to it, and yet it's going to come in at a more budget price. And Bersa has been making firearms for decades. And yes, they are an Argentine company, but all of these are made right here in the USA in Cartersville, Georgia, which is a big plus. Plus, even though we didn't demonstrate the Metgar mags, Metgar makes excellent magazines. And again, it's just great to have that availability to use with other 2011 handguns. And again, you do get that 23 round just ordering it and when it's available. And I guess that might be a little bit of a con because they're not available yet. They should be coming up soon. And so when they do, we'll see. So while we brought out the 1911, the Thunder 380, they do make a number of different firearms as well. The TPR series is a double single action. That is an excellent handgun, and the BP9 is also a great one, and they do AR-15s. So Bersa has really expanded their line just over the past couple of years, and it's great to see them entering the fray of the 2011 world. Guys, if you're looking for a double stack 1911 that has a lot of cool features, but you don't really want to pay that high price, and then when it comes to the more budget 1911s, they just don't have the features. They're just not as smooth and slick as this hand-fitted, hand-lapped double stack 1911. These have become very popular, and it's just great to see a lot of options. And Bersa has really come in, to me, with a home run with price and the fit and the finish. So check out the Bersa M2XI. And a big thank you to Bersa for sending the M2XI for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Bersa MX247. And we want to give a big thank you to Bersa USA for, I'm holding my gun up, my neighbor's coming down the street. M2XI. Good.
Wow.
What about,
That's crazy. I've never, this is like the 1911 style.
oh, okay, forget it. Thanks, Seth. Man, this thing shoots, okay, this is not a 2011. What is it? What the freak is it called? One of the things about the Bersa MX34712 trigger is exceptional. But you don't want something that just is medium. Okay.